What's up, everybody? It's your boy Mel here for another classic review. Today I'll be talking about my thoughts on since Valentine's over, I already finished with the Love Bug review, but I was actually doing this one before I doing the Love Bug review, but hey, better late than never. It's Wallace and Gromit in A Matter of Loaf and Death, released back in 2008, and it was a stop motion short produced by Artman Animation, created by Nick Park, and also is actually the fourth short to star Wallace and Gromit, and the first one since A Close Shave back in 1995, about 10 years ago. Well, to us it's like 20 years now, since we're in 2023, I think. But before we begin, did you subscribe? Did you hit the bell? If so, do you love cooking? Do you love bacon? If so, be careful to women do you start dating. If they start hating you because bakers like you make them fat, tell them to zip your mouth and eat right. The last thing they need is another baker's dozen getting murdered. But yeah, A Matter of Love and Death, which of course is a murder mystery with Wallace Gromit starting as new bakery business. Because remember, first there were window washers, then there were pest controls from the film. Now they're bakers, so they're just doing opportunity they can do, and they're good at it. Which, of course, is more like a murder mystery, because one, with an unknown assailant murdering bakers, and Gromit tries to solve the case before Wall ends up a victim himself. It also marked it was the last Wallace and Gromit film before the retirement of Wallace's voice actor Peter Sallis back in 2010. A couple years later, he passed away. And the short was one of the most viewed television specials in the UK back in 2008 and received critical acclaim. It also received an Oscar nomination for Best Animated Short Film at the 82nd Academy Awards by losing to Logorama, which is a adult animated short, which I say for French horniness because this is actually a French animated short, so yeah. They prefer cake over bread. And you know what I mean. But it won a BAFTA and an Annie for Best Short Animation and Best Animated Short Subject, respectively, back in 2009. Oh boy. It actually, the genres has like romance, mystery, and black comedy, which of course it's kind of weird because it was first released in Australia back in the 3rd of December, which is premiered in 2008, and then on Christmas of December of 2008 in the UK. The US came a bit more later because I remember in Cartoon Network they did show like a marathon of Wallace and Gromit, both of The Wrong Trousers and A Close Shave before the showing of A Matter of Love and Death back in, I think it was around 2010 or 2013. I can't remember. I have a vivid memory. But I can't remember what year it aired on Cartoon Network as it premiered on television. I actually quite enjoyed it. As for the cast, besides Peter Sallis, we have Sala Lindsay as Pilot Bakewell, Melissa Coiler as Fluffles the Poodle, Pilot's dog, and Sarah Laborde as the Bakelite singer. If you recall, when Wallace sees Pilot, that's when he sees her as her old self, like when she was a pinup girl, and we hear that singing voice saying, "I'm light as a feather, I'm a Bakelite gal." Yeah, that's her singing. We have Ben Whitehead as Baker Bob, who is uncredited, which we see him getting murdered with a rolling pin in the opening intro of Walls of the short. And we have Geraldine McIan as Miss Fripp. Uncredited, as you remember, this character appeared in The Curse of the Were Rabbit as well. As for the production, in October 2007, it was announced that Wallace and Gromit were to return to television after an absence of 10 years with a new short film titled Wallace and Gromit Trouble at Mill, which is the working title before they changed to Curses of the... A Matter of Loaf and Death because of, American viewers. America! Oh boy. Film began in January of 2008, and creator Nick Park commented that the production period for the short was significantly quicker than of the feature-length films of Chicken Run and Curse of the Were Rabbit, which each took 5 years to complete. A Matter of Loaf and Death was the first Aardman film to be made using the software Stop Motion Pro. 5 models were created for Gromit alone, with scenes being shot simultaneously. 13 sets. Wow. He also commented the fact that the short would be made directly for British audiences. Nick Park said, "I don't feel like I'm making a film for a kid in some suburb in America and being told they're not going to understand a joke or a northern saying." Regardless, Park changed the title from Trouble at the Mill as he thought it was too obscure a Northern England colloquialism, as well as a final title, the reference A Matter of Life and Death. Which is a reference to A Matter of Life and Death. The film also took references from Batman, specifically the 60s movie with Adam West, Alien, and Ghost. Park said in an interview with Radio Times, the BBC hardly gave a single note or instructions on the whole thing, and Park goes on to remark how it was better than his previous work with DreamWorks on Curse of the Were Rabbit, where they kept on receiving calls to change critical things. So, of course, the BBC was respectful of their wishes to have them free creativity because, hey, they understand because this is British culture to them. Wallace and Gromit is an icon in the UK and including Europe as well, but in the US, well, let's just say they're a bunch of rednecks. Yeah, that's the problem. I think they should stick their noses in books, then drugs, porn. What else? Guns, trap music, you name it. There's some decent people, but slower and slower. I think they would be mostly racist, dumb shit people, thugs, and old people. That's it. Where's the younger generation? Somewhere in Europe or in Japan. I would totally agree because Pergo's going that same route. I was saying, Park cast Sally Lisday after hearing her on the Radcliffe and Marconi show on BBC Radio 2 whilst driving from Preston. Although unfamiliar with her role as Shelley Unwin in the Coronation Street, Park said Sally has a lot of fun in her voice, flamboyant almost, and I was almost looking for someone who could be quite charming too, but with a slightly posh northern accent. Pilot needed to, at times, sound well-to-do, and then at others sound quietly gritty. At the time of its premiere, it made its world premiere in Australia on the Australian Broadcasting Corporation, ABC One, on the 3rd of December 2008, and was repeated again the following day on ABC Two. In the UK, it was aired on Christmas Day at 20:30 on BBC One, although it had been readily available on the Pirate Bay since the 3rd of December of 2008. Excuse me. On the 19th of December 2008, Aardman Animation revealed they had no idea how the clips were leaked on YouTube ahead of its screening in the UK, which means somebody recorded it or leaked it on YouTube so everybody could see. So yeah, whoops. In France, A Matter of Life and Death, which in French is Sacré Pétrine, was shown dubbed into French on Christmas Eve of 2008 on M6. In Germany, One version, entitled Auf Leben und Brot, was broadcast on the Super RTL network. The title is a play on Auf Leben und Tod, meaning a matter of life and death. A similar style to A Close Shave, Wallace and Gromit became the theme for BBC's One's Christmas presentation for 2008 to promote the showing of A Matter of Life and Death. As for receptions, oh boy, did they get the reception they wanted. The program was watched by the most viewers of any program on Christmas Day back in 2008 in the UK and secured the largest Christmas Day audience in 5 years. It was also the most watched program in the UK in 2008 with a peak average of audience of 14.4 million. The program had a share of 53.3, peaking with 58.1% and 15.88 million at the end of the program. The repeat showing on New Year's Day in 2009 even managed 7.2 million, beating ITV's Emmerdale in the ratings. The short was shown on British television for the third time on Good Friday in 2009, pulling in a 3.4 viewers in BARB's official ratings published on January 2009. It showed A Matter of Loaf and Death had a 16.15 million, making it the highest rating program of 2008 and the highest rated non-sporting event in the UK since 2004. When an episode of Coronation Street garnered 16.3 million. A positive review came from the US Today, which gave the film 4 stars. Which, of course, the awards they managed to win was a BAFT award, not for best short animation back in 2009. The same year, it received an Annie Award for best animated short subject. It was not nominated for an Academy Award for best animated short film in 2010, but lost to Logorama. But what was my thoughts about the film completely? Well, I like the okay. You start with the opening scene. You see Baker Bob singing, "I'm baking the cake, baking the cake," which of course his hat got removed. He goes, "Huh? Oh, it's you!" Like he knows that person until you realize who it is holding the rolling pin. Wait, were you doing that rolling pin? No. Bonk. Wham! Drop dead. Face first on the dough. His glasses falls on the back of his head. Title card shows up. A Matter of Loaf and Death. Which, that is the most subtle way to open the credit. Just kill off the guy and use the opening credit. A Matter of Loaf and Death. So we meet Wallace and Gromit in their bakery, which is like their house on a windmill in the middle of the neighborhood, which, damn. Of course, it's starting their next day. Preparing to deliver bread. Of course, that's when, as they're driving, delivering bread, and which Wallace says, "We're in the roll, lad," as in delivering bread rolls, which is a pun. I think Miss Ferb gets hit by a bread after hit by Gromit. Whoops. Hey, handle that football throw, Gromit. That's when Wallace encounters Pyla Bakewell, a former pinup girl for the Bakewell Light Bread Company, and Wallace's dream girl. When he sees her, that's when he sees her as her younger self, like, "I'm light as a feather, I'm the Bakewell Light gal." Which, of course, that's when he knows that she's in trouble because her brakes don't work on her bike. They manage to save her by he uses 2 breads as brakes before they pass the zoo before they end up inside a crocodile pen. As they break, her poodle, Fluffles, goes in the air, falls into the pit, into the mouth of the crocodile. But Gromit manages to go bungee jumping inside, jumps into the crocodile's mouth, rescues Fluffles before it can close his mouth. before he has a French meal for breakfast. Soon after that, Pilot introduces herself, which of course Wallace knows who she is, and he asks, does she still fly the balloon? Which of course, no, because, well, just say Wallace is a bit, meh. That's when Gromit starts having suspicion because he finds there's no problem with the brakes. But Wallace is smitten by her. Soon they start getting to know each other, slowly until they start getting more romantically, which of course, Gromit doing the work, begging, and Wallace is having a date with Pyla. You see a bunch of scenes like both of them doing a tango. Another is them, like, that scene where they're like making a clay vase together. Wallace is trying to help her, but she's a big woman, so he's trying to reach and trying to help her. They're making like a bread or something. Which, of course, yeah, kind of ticks off Gromit because he's being distracted. Soon after, when he comes back from work, that's when he knows everything's been redecorated because of Pyla telling you messy boys. Until Gromit went to his room. What does he do? Redecorate his room, which of course pisses him off. Literally. It looks like something you see from... Okay, you remember the scene from Addams Family Values when Pugsley and Wednesday go to this... In the camp, they have this certain cabin that feels like this... Something that even Wednesday would hate. Every so cute scene or everything, remember? That scene? They try to break them by watching Disney films and that room. Yeah, that's what Grommit's room looks like. He throws them out. He heard the knock on the door. He follows Pyla. He puts the foot on his back. It's actually Fluffles returning his stuff to him. And that's when she tells him to let go of her paw because he has her paw on top of his. Which, of course, Fluffles starts to giggle when Gromit doesn't understand. He was looking at her. She was looking at his music collection, which one's called Doggy Osborne, Puppy Love, which he starts to blush as she giggles. Since when you see Gromit blush, that's the first time you see. You remember, he doesn't talk. But you see him blush when a girl giggles, which he kind of interested. It was actually pretty cute. But soon, Pyla calls Fluffles, and she leaves. Soon after that, Walt knows that Pyla left her purse, which of course, he tells Gromit to take this back to her. So Gromit does. He must reach her mansion, which, holy shit. So he went from happy-go-lucky, cutesy, to a horror film, because look at our mansion. Look at it from a horror film, alright. Period. So Gromit goes on the door, no one answers. He opens the door is unlocked. He knows Pyla's in her office, her study, which he's about to knock on the door. He knows a shadow on top of the stairs, which looks like a person. So, of course, curiosity kills the cat, but it's Gromit, so he goes up to investigate. He finds it's Pyla's room, but she's surrounded in mannequins wearing aprons and baker hats, chef's hats. Slowly, each one has a number. That's when he finds Pyla's journal, which contains photos of every baker. Each one has a number, like 1, 2, 3. And it turns out these are the bakers that have been murdered throughout by the assailant. It turns out Gromit was looking at each one in number, except for there's one, number 13, has no baker's hat on. As he looked at all the numbers, he noticed that each number represents a baker, until he realized, oh shit, Pyla's the murderer, and guess who's number 13? Wallace. Which, of course, by murdering Wallace, to plan her 13th victim, completing her baker's dozen. With the lightning striking and the whole him getting spooked, he knocked the mannequins down, which, of course, Pyla hears it and walks upstairs, which, of course, Gromit freaks out as she opens the door. Nothing happens. Everything's clean, like nothing's been touched. Everything's in their place. Which, of course, she finds her purse. Of course, she goes to bed. And where is Gromit? On the ceiling, trying to hold his strength. Somehow he falls asleep, and he falls off the ceiling. As he's about to fall on Pyla, she opens her eyes. Like, that scares the shit out of everybody, seeing that. Like, it turns out to be a dream. Soon, Gromit races to Wallace until he found out they're engaged. to and also Pilot manages to grab the book behind Gromit and burns it in the fireplace, which of course destroying the evidence. Soon after, Gromit installs security measures in their home, including metal detecting screener, and that's when Pilot does something low. She bites herself to trick Wallace into thinking that Gromit bit her, which of course Wallace ends up puts a muzzle on Gromit and chains him up. Which of course, while Gromit watch helplessly as Pilot prepares to push Wallace to his death, he was saved when Pilot gets smacked by a bag of flour and pisses her off with outbursts about bakers, and she leaves. Leaving Wallace upset, of course, she drops by later, next day, to apologize and make a cake for them. Grump's suspicious, and also he knows where's Fluffles. He goes back to the mansion. He knows Fluffles like shivering under her curtain. It turns out to be a toy. Pilot grabs him because he knows that she's the murderer, and he throws him in the storeroom where Fluffles is, telling him he will be missing his master's Big Bang. Of course, while she waits and about to prepare to put her baker's dozen's final hat, turns out she forgot that the air balloon is in the storeroom, which of course they manage to rig it up and they escape on the balloon. Gromit and Fluffles arrive at Wallace's house. As before he lights the candle, they struggle. Of course, the cake falls and a bomb appears without Wallace saying, "Good grief! Look, it's a bomb!" With Gromit saying, "No shit." And we see Pilot stopping the bomb with her heel, holding Fluffles with a rolling pin, about to do what she says, hand over the bomb, or Fluffles gets snuffled, as in murdered. So then Fluffles bites her to let her go. They manage to escape until this scene kind of pissed off a lot of people. I don't know why. It's the scene where Fluffles gets smacked by Pilot, and we hear a loud smack. This smack. Yeah, that smack. Damn. And she's a tiny poodle. Damn, what a beast. Soon that chase pursues into the where the baker area is. They try to get the bomb. That's when she's about to whack Wallace with a rolling pin, explaining that because of the which reveals that she detests bakers after her weight gain ended her career as the Bakelite girl because of the high calories. Because, well, of course, they dropped her, which, of course, in her revenge, she kills every baker as her revenge plot. Soon, as he about to axe Wallace with a rolling pin, she gets smacked by a forklift. At first, Wallace follows Gromit, but actually, well, John that lass? It's actually Fluffles in a hard hat controlling the thing, and okay, there's an Easter egg here because the forklift transforms into this machine. Like, okay, remember Alien? This battle between the xenomorph and this type of machine with a transformed forklift. That scene there. That's where it's from. And during the battle between Pilot 2 rolling pins, like she's a savage warrior about to beat up his poodle. And so after, there was another gag with Wallace getting chased by the bomb, literally, as he falls around the slide where he dropped the flower. And that's when Wallace knows, lad, where's the bomb? That's when there's smoke, and it turns out the bomb is in his pants, which they both freak out, and Pilot says, well, bon voyage, Wallace. Your buns are good as toasted. Which, of course, she leaves in a hot air balloon, which, of course, there was a gag there, which is a reference from the Batman film from the 1960s, where, okay, you remember the scene where Batman has to get rid of the bomb? And he's trying to find a place to get rid of it, but there's too many places that people get hurt. Even the one with the full ducts is like, he says, there's no place to get rid of a bomb. Oh boy, that's where the reference from is. So, what does Gromit do? Shoves a hose up Wallace's leg trousers and turns on the hose where you know where the dough is. He fills his pants with dough, keeps filling it up until it's so wide that both Fluffles and Gromit brace for impact behind a box of Christ when the explosion goes off. Even Wallace is covering ears like, please, don't let my buns blow up. Soon as it blows up, Pilot thought she won, but actually, Wallace survived. As Gromit and Fluffles look up, that's when Gromit covered Fluffles' eyes because, of course, Wallace's buns are showing, and there's a whole big gap from the explosion, which he knows down below. And oh, hello, sisters. What do you call previously? Remember when he tried to get rid of the bomb? There were nuns walking by calling kittens. Which, of course, when the nuns saw his ass, they're like, they just freaked out and they accidentally dropped the kittens. Oh my god, that's actually priceless right there. And this is a reference from the film where the vicar, when Quartermain gets flinged by the were-rabbit, he gets his trousers caught on a weather vane. That when the vicar said, "Beware the moon," his ass crack was showing, literally right there to the public. Jesus, that's actually pretty funny. Soon she gets pissed off and she says, "I will have my baker's dozen." That's when Wallace has told her about her weight. The balloon cannot hold her because of her weight, which she doesn't care that they can't drop me. I'm light as a feather on the baker like girl. And guess where the dam she falls into? The crocodile pit, and she gets devoured by the crocodile, having him a French breakfast. And the balloon rises again. The only thing was left is the balloon. The rest of it destroyed and devoured by the crocodile along with her. That's when Wallace looks up to the balloon and say, "Yours be my Bakelite girl." You see Pilot in her younger form waving goodbye. And as it disappears in the clouds. Well, she's going to hell. She's in the oven heat of hell for what she did. So what are you looking at heaven for? Soon after, that's when Gromit offers Fluffles his hand to take care of her, but she leaves. Meant to be alone for a while. So Gromit gets upset, but of course they do go to their daily routine. As they're about to leave, they almost hit Fluffles as she was right in front of them, right behind the garage door. That's when Gromit looked out the window. She turns around and she's crying. And she wants to go, she still cares about him. Of course, Gromit opens the door and lets her in. And of course, he gives her an honorary baker hat. Literally, all traders blow their hats and their hats go up. Because they have a sunroof where the hats go like, boom. And she goes dig around for music, and what she chooses Puppy Love. And as they're driving, some of the cars swirls, and whoa, eyes on the road, lad. What were you doing, Gromit? Concentrate, boy. We don't want another accident. And so yeah, those are my thoughts on Wallace and Gromit in A Matter of Loaf and Death. And I like this movie because I'm always a sucker for a mystery horror one, and this is actually pretty good. According to references with the Batman film, Ghost, and Alien, that's actually a good choice for reference. But yeah, let me know what you think of A Matter of Life and Death. Did you like this when it came out? And I think for us, it came out on Cartoon Network, because remember, it premiered only in Australia and the UK before it was released in Cartoon Network, along with A Close Shave and The Wrong Trousers. I don't know when it came out. It was around the 2010s, I believe. But yeah, let me know what you think. What was your first scene? Did you like it? Did it actually entertain you? But yeah. And if you're new to the channel, remember to subscribe, hit the bell, like this video. And I'll see you next time, next week. Until then, peace out, people.